Right lads, brew day 2. So today I'll get the big brew out. We've got a little bit of a brew going on. I did talk to Zippy about it and Uncle Jonah. So thank you very much for your input lads, because I think it would have tasted bloody awful if I hadn't asked you. So what we've got is 4 kilo Marisota, 1.5 kilo of the medium crystal, and I was going to put 1 kilo of chocolate malt in, and Zippy basically said it'll just taste like hot chocolate. So I'm now only going to put 500 grams in instead, and it is 300 grams of wheat flake as well, for a bit of, hopefully for a bit of body. And on the hops, I'm going to do 50 grams of Fuggles for 60, and then 30 grams of Amarillo at 10. And I know people have said, like they said, don't put the Amarillo in, you should put all of it in at the front. But since I've been playing around with the hops a little bit, I kind of like that little bit of flavour on the back of it. And I was going for a stout, but I haven't got any roasted barley, and I haven't got time today to go and get any roasted barley. And today's the only chance I've got to do a brew. So we're going to risk it for a biscuit, and we're going to give it a go. If it tastes alright, it tastes alright. If it tastes awful, well, I'll know next time to listen. So, but I've taken some advice, and as I said, I can't get the roasted barley today, and I haven't got anywhere else, and I've got no other time to brew, so it'll be not going in. So I've got the brew kettle on, she's just starting up. I'm just going to go and check on that, so I'll be back in a little bit. Right guys, I hear you all saying you want to see the best brew set up in the Chesley Street area, so let's go and have a little look. It's going to get a little bit bright out here. It should sort itself out. That is my brew kettle. Got a garden tap, got a plastic box to stop my electrics from getting wet. What more do you need, eh? I'm going to take you back inside because it's too bright out there. And the neighbours already think I'm crazy without standing there talking to an iPad. So, I'm mashing in, it's about 67, 68. And then, obviously once the grains go in and that'll cool it down. So it should be about 61, 62. And then that'll be it for 60-minute mash. Then I'll plug it back in, because it's electric, so with a washing machine element in. So I'll plug it back in, stick it back on, and then I'll try and raise that temperature up to about 68, 69. I did struggle with this last time. The water gets hot, but it takes forever to heat to actually get the mash in the bag to raise the temperature. So what I might do is I might run a little bit off the bottom and pour it back in the top. We'll see how it goes. So I'm going to get these grains in, and then I'll come back and talk to you. Right lads, well there she is, all wrapped up, lid on. She's sitting at 61.6. So we're just going to leave her now for an hour. But it seems to be working. It works well for me. I quite like this, the whole brew in the bag system. So I'm going to go back in. Aye, sorry lads, I can't talk to you outside because I do feel like I'm a little bit stupid and a bit crazy. Because there's nobody else about, it's just me and my iPad. So at least when I'm in here, they think I'm just, you know, a little bit daft. But doing it outside, it really does look stupid. And sorry, I'm not having a beer lads. It's, well, it's just after lunchtime, but I've got things to do later on, so. At the end of the day, it is Good Friday. So, but the whole brew in the bag thing for me is working really well, because I wanted to get into all grain a little while, because I've been doing kits for a few years now, and I've kind of wanted and played around and done like mini mashes and stuff like that, but I'd never heard of brew in the bag. And then through the Homebrew Wednesday and talking to obviously lads like in New Zealand and in Australia and that, they seem to be more into brew in the bag, because I didn't have anywhere to put a mash tun. I've got enough room for a boil pot, and that's how I do. Everything all in one pot. The only thing that I have learned is it's harder to keep your temperatures, because obviously with a mash tun you're only using a certain amount of water. With boiling the bag you use the whole batch water all at once. There's no sparge or anything. Oh, in the method I'm using there's no sparge or anything in it. So for this one I'll end up with 23 litres of beer, or what. but my start out is 39 litres. So I've got 39 litres of water with a little over a little under 7 kilos of grain in it. So it's not that thick, you know what I mean? It is quite watery, your actual mash, so it doesn't hold the temperature that well. Oh, that's what I've found. I haven't got too much of a problem because with mine just being electric, I just stick the electric back on. And as I said, if I do have a problem with the heating the actual mash up, I will just run a little bit out the tap on the bottom and just tip it back in the top. That seems because I am going to put a hose pipe and that on it, so I can just do that, because I think the water inside the kettle will push the water out and up a pipe and back in the top, so I can just recirculate water instead of having to put it into another vessel for the pump in to pump it back in. Because I know Harry said he had a bit of problem with his pumps with them in off a washing machine and them overheating. So really, I just don't want to get into having more stuff, and I really haven't got a lot of room. I've only got a small house, and I've got nowhere outside to put a shed or anything, because my house is like in a dip. The road's 6 foot higher than the bit where I'm working out there, so I haven't really got anywhere. So I've got like a tiered garden, so there isn't anywhere flat enough to put a big shed. And apart from that, now I said, killers, Harry mate, you get away with murder, man, absolute murder. So, anyways, I'm going to go and keep an eye on this brewing. I was watching Tom, but his cast seems to have gone off at the moment, so I'll have a look to see who's on. Speak to you in a bit, lads. Right then, so I've got me hops weighed out. I've got the Amarillo. I've never used these before, and to be honest, I have a funny feeling they're not going to be anything like what I want them to be like. I kind of wanted a bit of a, like that marzipan nutty flavour, and I had a funny feeling that's what they were going to smell or taste like. And well, I've just weighed them out, and they just smell like Cascade. Hey, see, live and learn. But the other one is I've got me fuggles, and they smell absolutely beautiful, absolutely beautiful. They have been backpacked and they have been in my freezer. But so I'll just lift them out so they can warm up. I don't know if that makes any difference. I really haven't got a clue. So if anybody can just let us know if keeping them in the freezer for any length of time will knock them back or make them not bitter as well, please let us know, because I've got hops in this freezer now that's been there only maybe 2 or 3 months. But if that means that I'm going to have to add more of them because they will have lost some of their quality with being in the freezer, just let us know. And apart from that, I'll probably just get them used up, because again, I don't order big batches of grain and stuff like that. I really order what I need and what I'm going to use for a particular brew. I do normally, don't get us wrong, I always end up with like bits and pieces, because like the crystal I order in 3 kilo bags. It's the same as the wheat flake, because I use that in every brew, and the Marisota. I might be looking into ordering a 25 kilo Marisota. The only problem I've got is again, it's the shipping. There isn't anywhere local to me that does grains. Everywhere local to me, I've got 2 brew shops next to us. One is primarily makes wine for people from kits. They do have stuff, and they do have stuff on cheap, and I do buy lots of cheapy kits off them, but that's all I do is kit stuff. They don't even have a wide range of yeast. The only yeast I can get locally is the stuff I can pick up from Wilco's, unless I want to order it in and pay shipping. So for me to get a 25 kilo sack of Marisota, it's going to cost us a fortune just in the shipping alone without even purchase. The other shop I can go to, he does sell little bits, but he only sells small bags. He only sells them in 1 kilo bags, and apart from that, it's a long way for me to get across there to pick it up. And then it's the petrol. So by the time I drove down his shop, I may as well have paid the shipping and had it sent from America, because we all know the price of petrol. So anyways, I'm going to go and keep an eye on this pot in a bit, lads. Right, another thing that I've got, right, is a vac packer. So hang on, I'll turn this around. That's it there. 30 quid from GML. Absolutely fantastic. It means that, so when I open my bags of hops up, I can just put them back in and seal them back up in another hop bag, in another vac bag. So I'm going to do them now, and then I'll have a crack with you. So these vac bags come on one big massive roll, right? So you can cut them to whatever length you want. So you just put it in, seal one end, and then I just work out how much I'm going to need. Just grab my scissors. cut off what I need. Then I take the bag, once I've taken my hops out. See, last time I didn't do this, and I tipped them out of this bag and put them in just to this bag. But then it was a nightmare because I had to label all the bags up. So this way I don't even need to label the bags up, I can just dump it straight in and then put it back in. And set that away. Hang on, as always, as soon as I put the camera on, something's going to go wrong. Pop that like that. Pass that down. There we go. But I use this for all kinds. I'll buy if I buy big pieces of meat and things like that, I'll buy like a full loin of pork, and then I'll just cut it down into pork steaks. Or if I get one on the bone, then I'll take it down and cut it into chops. It's just cheap for me. Like, I'll buy half a pig at a time. I've many days spent butchering big pieces of meat just because it's cheaper for me, and I work everything on cheap. You know what I mean? I think it must just be a northern thing. So notice then I end up with one big vac pack bag, and then that just goes back in the freezer. So hopefully that is keeping them as fresh and as in good condition as I possibly can. But can't get over the smell of that Amarillo. It really does smell citrusy. I didn't think it was going to. And the other thing that I'm adding into this, which I'm going to have to pop up and get because I've just realised that I haven't got any in the house, is camp coffee. You know, the bottled camp coffee. Because this is going to be chocolate and coffee, it's basically going to be a mocha. I wanted it to be a mocha stout, but it won't ever be a stout. It's got no roasted barley in, so it's now going to be a dark ale, really. And hopefully the coffee flavours and the chocolate flavours aren't going to be too big, and they're kind of going to look after each other. And that's why I wanted the Amarillo, thinking hopefully it was going to be like a marzipan type of, you know, that type of, like a nutty type of flavour. And then I thought that would be quite nice to be in there, but obviously that isn't going to taste like that at all. So we're going to just see how it goes. So I think yes, the mash itself, I had to take the lid off it. The last mash I did during the night. It was the epic tired brew, which I was just on all night with, doing it in the cold, and it was not good. But it meant my temperature went down really quickly once I put one I mashed in. This one, obviously it's nice weather outside, it's nice and warm. It's probably about 15-16 degrees out there in the garden. So what's happened is the temperature didn't drop that much, so it was lid off time, a little bit of cold water in, keep it stirring around, trying to get it to cool down. So the problem of trying to keep it hot isn't a problem at all today. It's the time to get it to cool down, because I mashed in at I think it was 68 it was. I'm not sure, I think it was about 68. And then I just popped the grains in, expecting the grains to drop the temperature down like it did the last time, and didn't drop them down that far. So in case I'm going to go and have another look at it and keep an eye on it, so I'll speak to you in a bit. Another thing while I'm on, I've just got one of these. Can any of you remember these? Because as far as I can find, they've never been made for a long time. It's the beer makers. Basically it's a heater to go in your fermenter, but it's got to be pre-84, because for those who don't know, in 1984 the law was changed that all electrical items had to come with a fitted plug. Before 84 they didn't. Most things came without a plug on and you had to fit them yourself, and there was lots of problems with people not fitting plugs properly. And the reason you can tell is because it says on here that it comes with a fitted plug. That wouldn't have been labelled on any item after 1984. See, because I do my homework as well and had a little look, but this has never been used, it's never been out of the packet. Somebody who is a friend of my mother's was cleaning a load of stuff out, and she doesn't know if her husband bought it or her son bought it, but she had a load of homebrew gear that had been bought and never ever been used. There were still kits there, which were out of date for a long time, so that's how I knew it had to be old, because it would be about the same age as the kit I was working on. So she didn't even keep them. I probably would have had to go with them if I'd been handed them, but no, so they were off 82. So I knew this had to be, because of just the label on had to be before 84. But no, so I've never plugged it in or tried it or anything. I just didn't know if anybody had ever used one before, because there's not a great deal of information on the internet about them. But it's a Boots one, so hey, it's, you know, it's an English one, so I'm guessing somebody out there. Zippy, he's been brewing a long time. He might know. Welsh brewer. You been brewing? I don't know how long you've been brewing. You've been brewing since the 80s. So, but anybody who's ever seen one or used one, if you can just kind of get in touch with us and just let us know if they're any good and how to use it, because it's got no instructions in it. The only thing that seems to be missing is the instructions. Unless it came without instructions. There's nothing really on the box apart from it says that it maintains ideal temperature range of 21 to 25, but I can't see anywhere in it where you can turn it up or down. So I don't know if you just plonk it in and keep turning it on and off at the wall. I don't know. Or does it just guess? It's going to, does it move 21, 25? That's close enough. I haven't got a clue. But I don't really want to start plugging it in and using it on this batch of beer if it's going to basically get hotter and hotter and hotter and cook me beer. So, but yes, if anybody's ever used one or anybody knows if they're any good or anything, just get in touch and just let us know. You know, I'm always about on Facebook, Von, this video if you want to stick something on the bottom of there. But I see the things you get given. And yes, I've got to go and check this again. Right, so that's the 60-minute mash done. So now I've just put it on to heat up again, and I have been circulating a bit of water out the bottom, putting it in the top, which I think is going to work fantastic when I get pipe on that. That is going to work. I've also had a thought about these hops. They're all down in together. Because that hasn't got any of the flavour on that I wanted, or any of the smell that I wanted, I may as well just use its bittering qualities. So, it's getting... Quick check of the book. It's getting 50 grams of Fuggles and 30 grams of the Amarillo. Is it Amarillo? Yeah, Amarillo. Yeah. So, we'll buy them all in at once. That's what the lads had said. Actually, the lads says don't use the Amarillo and just use more Fuggles for bitter. But I'd already weighed them out, so I'm going to open that vat back up just to put them back in, so they'll just go in. They'll be fine. So I'm just going to keep lifting this from the bottom to the top just to get that up, because I want to get up to about 68 to 70. You know what I mean? Just to get some of the tannins out and that. So there's a little bit of... don't get me wrong, I like a bitter, to be a bitter. But this isn't going to be a bitter. This is going to be dark ale, cum, stouty type of thing. And I don't want to be too bitter because obviously I've got the chocolate in there and I've got the coffee going in there. And the coffee's going to bitter it. I'm sure of that. Because I'm putting, as I say, I'm putting, well, possibly 2 bottles of camp coffee in. I'm going to stick 1 bottle in and taste it. And if I don't think it tastes, you know, I'll stick another bottle of camp coffee in. And the other thing, I've never seen anyone use camp coffee before, so I haven't got a clue what's going to happen. So, but it's all part and parcel of the homebrew. So, right, I'm going to go and get cracked on with this. Right, so that's grain bag out. What I do with it is, I'm not taking it outside again because I really do feel stupid talking outside. I've got a fermenter with a tap on, with a big old top on it. And all I do is I lift my grain bag out and let it drain a little bit, and then I pop it into there and just leave it to sit. And then what happens is the rest of the water comes out, and then I slowly pick it up, and then I just open the tap on it and tip it back into my boil pot. So, boil pot's turned on. I'm pointing there because I haven't got an on-off switch on my boiler. I'll just have to turn it on and off by the plug. So, the next bit is camp coffee. That is my coffee flavour that's going to go into this beer. And I've got 2 bottles of camp coffee. And any of you out there who's ever used camp coffee, like in cakes or anything like that, you don't normally need a great deal. But, woo, doesn't smell like I remembered, but hey. So, I'm putting 1 in. It flame out, and because I don't use a chiller, I haven't got a chiller, I just leave mine to stand and go cold. So tomorrow morning, once it's gone cold, I'll taste it, and if I don't think it's coffee enough, I'll tip the bottle in before it goes in the fermenter. Hey, this whole recipe is just a bit of a botch job. We're just trying and playing with it. You never know. See, I've watched these videos, well, pretty much from from day one with lots of the brews. I just didn't used to comment. I used to just sit and watch it. Because I always said I would never make videos. I'm so pleased I do. So, but I need to. But I have. I've seen some of the lads when they've brewed, and it has been just, oh, we'll hire a bit of that in. We'll try a bit of this. We'll try a bit of that. And they end up making some really good beer. Don't get us wrong. There's been some rubbish made as well. But these things just happen. I think it's just got to be tried. And because I've tried it, means other people don't have to. But this swamp water looking product here, which is flat, not carbonated yet, is tastes really nice. That's the first all grain batch that I did. It hasn't been left long enough, you know what I mean? There's people out there going to be watching this video thinking, well, you didn't get that long, did you, lad? Well, no, I didn't. It's only, I think it's only been in the bottles 4 days, 5 days, maybe a bit longer than that. But I couldn't help myself. I've been looking at it because I keep it in the cupboard to keep it warm, to prime it. I keep looking at it and going, I'll have a try. And I put off, and then today I couldn't help myself. So we're having a little taste on that. It's real proper English, real English beer, like proper real ale beer. It's flat, not completely flat, but almost. You can just taste the malt front on it. Then them Fuggles hops just kind of like just sitting in the background, just going rah and going roll here. That's just beautiful. It's bitter. It's really not too bitter, but really just grabs hold of you and goes, I'm here. That's absolutely lovely. Once that carbs up properly, and that's got a little bit of a head on, not a big head, just a little bit of a head on, and clings on that glass, and it hopefully clears out a little bit, because I'm not joking here, that really is like, it's swamp water. I mean, really is swamp water. But no, once that sorts itself out and clears a little bit, it won't ever clear out totally, I know that, because I haven't put Irish moss in. This hasn't got Irish moss in either. I haven't put any of the tablets in or anything like that. I've just brewed it as it's brewed. I have been watching videos on people using gelatine, excuse me, as a clearing agent. And I think I might have a go with that. Not today though. So that's what that is, and that is, as I said, hopefully it'll sort itself out and that'll be lovely. That would actually, if that gets a head on it and gets a little bit clearer, that'll be going in as the SJ pour. I'll be making another batch of that, and that'll be the SJ pour there, because that is like just a proper English beer. Everything about it. It's got East Kent Goldens in it, it's got Fuggles in it, it's Marisota, it's got a little bit of crystal in for the colour. I might even knock the crystal out and get it so it'll be a pale ale, not get the crystal out of it altogether, and have it so it's going to be like Marisota and these Kent Goldens and Fuggles, and make it like a real straw colour. I don't know, room for thought on that one. But anyway, I'm going to go and get an eye on this boiling. See you in a bit, lads. Right then, that's the air boil on. So it's a 60-minute boil. I might leave a little bit longer because looking at it, I've got quite a bit of water there. So I'm planning a 60-minute boil. I'll have a look to see how much boils off. So that's it. And the canned coffee hasn't gone in yet. I'm going to put that in at flame out, because mainly with it being so thick and gloopy, I don't want it to get on, when I pour it in, I don't want it to go on the element and stick in the element, because, well, it'll be a nightmare to clean off a hot element. I can just imagine it sticking really not well. So that's it. So next time I talk to you, it'll probably be tomorrow once it's gone cold, and I'll be doing a gravity reading. So, see you in a bit, boys. Right, I've had a bit of a change of thought with the canned coffee. What I've done is I've just taken that much out the boil pot. What I'm going to do is I'm going to tip all of this canned coffee into this, mix it up, and then stick it in halfway through the boil. 1 empty jar of canned coffee, and I'll just mix that up just nice and gently. And I think that's going to be a better plan than just dumping it in right at the end, because I don't want to just sink, because anyone who hasn't used canned coffee's really thick, and if I just pour it in, it'll just sink straight down, touch my element, stick to the element. And then I thought, well, I'll put in a flame out, and then I thought, well, then it still might just go down and sink and stick to the bottom of the pot. So then when I empty it out, it could be sitting in that little bit at the bottom where I can't get out the bottom of my boil pot. So I don't know, so I've decided, well, I've done it now, so that's happening. And halfway through the boil, I'm going to pop this in. It looks like gravy. So hopefully this is gonna be alright. So, but it is, I'll let you know, because I'm planning on the first one I made. Hopefully it's going to be ready for Wednesday coming, and I'll well, it's not, I'm still drinking it, so I'll have a drink of it then, and I'll have a little bit of a review then. But at the moment, I've see the things I had to do later on. I've managed. Oh, I say managed. I've had a phone call saying that I don't need to do them anymore. The person who was supposed to be doing it is going to be available to do it. So it's church business. So there's so I can have a little drink, and that is the Marston's IPA 5.7. That's really, I've never had it before, or if I have, I can't remember having it before. But that's beautiful. That really rare. A little bit on the thin side, but that's the only thing I would knock on it. Flavour wise, it's beautiful. It's a little bit zesty, a little bit fruity. Got quite a good malt background. See that? This is one of my biggest bugbears with big American IPAs like the Punk Dog IPA and stuff like that, right? Is they seem to have forgotten all about malt. It seems as if malt just isn't involved in it because they've crammed that many hops into it. It's just hop, 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 and there's no backbone there. And to be honest, that's the bit is my preferred side of the drink, is the mouthfeel, the backbone, the malt. Is it rounded, or is it just all jumping about all over? So, anyways, I'm going to get this back in there, and I'll speak to you later. Right, so now it's the morning, and that she is there just run over, because all I did is I just leave my lid on and leave her outside overnight so she can go cold, and then once she goes cold I'll just run her over into that pot, and you can just see how dark it is there. That is proper black. Right, just going back in now, give us a second. Right, so that's the end of the brew day the next morning. So that should be hopefully a coffee, chocolate, dark ale cum light bodied stout. So thanks for watching. A little thumbs up if you don't mind. Subscribe. Write little comments. I love to chat with you. See you in a bit, boys.